Hi, this is Richard here. So this is a series of videos where I'm going to talk about the full setup on how I deadbait for pike, through from rods, nets, deadbaiting, and what essential equipment that you need for pike safety as well. It's going to be a series of videos. I'm all going to put them on a playlist so it's easy for people to watch specifically what area or aspect of pike fishing that they're interested in. I hope you find this video helpful. I'm no expert, I'm just trying to help, and if this video helps one person, then it's been a huge success. If anybody's seen anything that I'm doing and think that they could do something a bit slightly different, leave a comment. We're all here to help each other. But most importantly, I hope this video is helpful and I hope you enjoy it. Highlands. So today I'm going to show you how to make a basic deadbait wire trace. I'll show you what tools you're going to need to make the deadbait wire trace. And I'm going to show you what components you're going to need to also make the trace itself. There's so many different manufacturers out there and different brands, so it's really up to your own personal preference on what brand that you use. But it's a basic deadbait wire trace that I'm going to show you and how to make one. So I'll show you what materials that I'm using to make mine. I'm not sponsored by the brands, it just happens to be what I've got at the moment. As I've mentioned in previous videos, if you've been watching, I do have a wee bit of nerve damage in my hand, so you might see my hand shake from time to time, but I'll try my best to show you how to do it. But like I said, it's just a basic deadbait wire trace. I hope you find this video helpful. And like I said, I'm no expert. The goal for this video is just trying to help. If this video helps one person, then it's been a huge success in my opinion. But let's get into it and I'll show you how I make my deadbait wire traces. So starting off, you're going to need something to cut the wire, so you need a decent pair of wire cutters. The second tool you're going to need is a crimping tool for the crimps. So pretty much that's the only two things you're really going to need. This is the wire that I'm using today. The wire, it's a £30 braid stream wire. It does the job, it's quite a good wire to use. It doesn't matter what brand you're using, it's really down to your own personal preference, but that's the wire I'm using. You're also going to need crimps. I'm using these Savage scale ones. Hooks that I'm using today are size 4 semi-barbed. Normally I use barbless, but that's the only ones I could get at the shop today, so I'm using semi-barbed. Other material that you're going to need is something to cover the hooks, so I'm using this swivel cover. You can use other materials, but I like using this stuff. And last but not least, swivels. This is a size 4 swivel that I'm using. I'm now going to show you how to put all these components together and actually make the deadbait wire trace. So first what you're going to do is you're going to take whatever wire it is you're using and you're going to measure it to the length that you're required. Now, everybody's different in the length that they want the deadbait wire trace to be. To give yourself a wee bit of extra room for mistake when you're making these up, I tend to make things around about 45 centimetres to 50 centimetres. I know it's a bit hard to see in this video, but I've measured the length for wire that I'm taking off. It's then just a case of using your wire cutters and just cut it off. You've then got the length of wire that you want. Now I know in this video it's going to be hard to see this wire because of how thin it is, but trust me, I'll try my best to show you as best as possible. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to measure out where you want the first hook to go on the wire. Once you figure out the length that you want your wire trace to be from hook to hook, just give yourself a wee bit more wire, just to give yourself a wee bit of room to play with when you're making this up. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this hook on the wire, and then you're going to put the hook exactly where you want it to be placed on the wire. Once you do that, you're going to take your wire, wrap it around one of the parts of the hook, and then just hold it tight, which I'm going to demonstrate now. So, I'm not starting to see, I've got the wire here on my fingers, hook. So, through the eye of the hook, You're then going to thread it through to exactly where you want it to be on the wire. And that looks like enough distance between the two hooks. I'm just going to give myself an extra inch, just so there's enough room. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that wire from one of the points of the hook, wrap it around, and then just hold it in place. Once you've wrapped it around the hook, you're going to use your other hand, you're going to pinch it, hold it there. That bit of wire that you've moved around this part of the hook, you're going to grab it firmly and then wrap it 3 times round the shank of the hook and then back through the eye of the hook. Once you've put it back through the eye of the hook, the top part of the hook, the part that you wrapped around the first bit of the hook, there should be a wee small loop there, enabling you to push your wire back through that loop. Once you do that, you just pull it tight as I said, and then that hook's not going to move anywhere. That's now firmly in place to where you want it. The bit of wire that's left at the front is your bit of wire that's then going to go to the hook at the front of your wire trace. Now to hold that in place so it doesn't move about, make it a bit neater as well, you're going to take one of the swivel covers I was talking about. You get your swivel cover and you're just going to put that onto your just going to put it onto your wire. Then you're going to move it up and cover that hook. Pull everything tight again, make sure it's all nice and neat and tight. Once you then move that up and cover the hook, as you can see it keeps it nice, tight and neat. That means that hook's not going to move anywhere and you can now move on to the next part. So what you're going to do is, this is the first hook, so you're going to get the hook at the front of your wire trace. So you're going to take one of the swivel covers, going to feed that on, then a crimp, and then you're going to get another hook. So the next stage is you've fed your swivel cover onto your line, then you've put your crimp on, you've then took your line, put it through the eye of the hook, folded it back on itself, creating a loop. And then what you've done is you've took your crimp, you've moved it back up your line, and you've put both parts of the line, or the wire I should say, into the crimp, creating a loop and holding the hook in place. So now at this point what you're going to do is you're going to crimp with your crimping tool, your crimping tool, and just crimp it. Once you've crimped the crimp, that then holds that in place. It's not going to move anywhere, it's not going to go anywhere. You're then going to take your wire cutters and you're just going to cut off the tag end of the wire. So now that you've cut off the tag end, it's just a case of taking the swivel cover, move it up your line, move everything into place, cover your crimp, and also put onto the hook. Once you've done that, as you can see, it's all nice and neat. Both your hooks are on, they're in place, and it's quite a professional finish in my opinion. The swivel covers does help keep it looking a bit more neater, gives a bit more of a professional finish I think. So now that you've got both hooks on, you've got it crimped, you've got your swivel covers on, as you can see it does give it a nice professional finish. It's neat, it's tidy, and it's strong as well. So that's the start of a good deadbait wire trace. Now it's just a case of going down to the other end of your wire. What you're going to do is put on a swivel cover, a crimp, and then you're going to get a swivel. What you're going to then do is put your wire through one end of the swivel, create a loop, and then you're going to move the crimp back up your wire trace, and you're going to put both ends, basically your tag end, your wire into the crimp, so both parts of the wires in the crimp, the same as you did with the hook. So you've got your swivel cover there. You're going to then put it onto your wire. Make sure you put it on the opposite way from what you did with your hooks, because what you've got to bear in mind, it's going to come back up your line, and this part's going to cover your swivel. Swivel cover's on first, then your crimp, just feed that on. You're then going to get your swivel and your wire. Put your wire through one of the eyes of the swivel, as you can see here, and then just bend it back over itself. This is what's going to create a loop and also lock your swivel in place once you move the crimp back up. So once you put your crimp, slide it back up the line, you're going to make sure that your tag end that you've now created goes into the crimp as well. You just move both parts in, move it up. Once you do that, as you can see, you've got your crimp here. It's created a loop around the swivel, holding it in place. You're then going to take your crimping tool and just crimp the crimp, as you did with the hook. It's exactly the same. Once you crimp it, that's it. It's not going to move anywhere. Your swivel's now fully attached to the wire trace. So this is a case of then cut off the tag end of the bit of wire and then move your swivel cover up to cover that. Now you've done that, like I said, it's just a case of taking your swivel cover, sliding it up your line, and then just moving it into place, just so it covers the bottom part of the swivel and leaving the eye of the swivel out. The swivel cover at this part, and also on the hooks, I find having the parts covered, it just keeps everything neater, also gives a bit more of a professional finish. But if you've got your dead bait in like a type of grass or weeds, it just helps reduce it tangling in that a wee bit. Also when you're using bait elastic as well, when you're dead bait, having the swivel covers on your hooks, it just helps stop that getting tangled in your hooks and stuff like that. So that's how I make the dead bait wire trace. You've got your two hooks and then you've got your swivel there. As you can see, it's quite long, so now that it's finished, it's going to be around about 45 centimetres in length. So it's a decent size wire trace. So just to recap, the tools you're going to need is a crimping tool, wire cutters. You're also going to need wire, 3 swivel covers, 2 crimps, a swivel, and then 2 hooks. I was using size 4 semi-barbed. Once you've got all the components, you can then make your deadbait wire trace. So that's my personal preference on how I make my deadbait wire traces. I hope you found this video helpful and enjoyable. Like I say, I'm no expert, it's just my personal preference on how I make mine. If you make yours in a different way, feel free to leave a comment. We're all here to help each other, so the goal for this video is just to try and help one person. If this video has helped one person make a deadbait wire trace, then it's been a huge success. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Till next time, tight lines. Thanks for watching.